the back. It's you.
Hello.
Ah, you look lovely.
So it is.
Thanks. That's cute.
Well, this is sick.
Aww.
Is it not a thing?
Yeah, it is it. I'm Taylor, I'm 24, soon to be 25. I'm currently a production manager at a media outlet and I've been living in Folkestone with my partner Max for the last 2 years.
My name's Max. I live in Folkestone in Kent with my girlfriend Taylor. I'm a video producer. I'm 27 and a little bit about myself. I'm not sure I know.
A bit about me. I love all things creative, even though I'm not particularly good at them. I'm a proud cat mum. I love my little boy Francis.
I like nature. I like history, geography, all the boring hobbies really.
And I just enjoy bobbing about life with my boyfriend. Max and I have a really interesting origin story. We were friends instantly, like he was my best friend, my favourite person to hang out with, but there was, and he knows this, there was no way I ever thought that we were gonna end up together romantically.
I met Taylor when I was 24. We were lucky enough to work together and we used to travel here, there and everywhere. And the more of that we did, the more we sort of got to know each other, but we hit it off straight away. We first got to properly know each other in Amsterdam.
And the minute I started hanging out with him, even if that was just getting him bits of food or some drinks during his filming, any time that I saw him by himself on set, I wanted to go over and talk to him. And I found that kind of unusual, that I just wanted to keep talking to him. Because to be honest, for the longest time I hadn't really been that interested in finding out anything about anybody else.
Eventually we started meeting up outside of work and yeah, it kind of just grew on from there. And I remember thinking, all I want to do is spend time with her. And yeah, just trying to make sure that I was always with Taylor because that's all I wanted.
And that's how we met, just lots of dates in London, lots of drinking. In fact, we actually had to cut down on the drinking because we didn't know if we actually liked hanging out with each other or we were just constantly smashed. But it turns out we did like hanging out with each other, and 3 years later we still do.
My favourite thing about Taylor is her ability to always make any situation better.
One of the people I love the absolute most in this world is my granddad Ernie. And even as a little girl, I remember thinking, when I get older, I want to find someone that is just as kind and loving as him. And it's such a rarity. And Max is that. Like my family and I always joke that I found my Ernie. Like, he is just so kind.
Like, everybody loves being around Taylor. She's always the heart and soul of any situation. Everybody loves her smile, her sense of humour, her laugh.
He will do anything for anyone, and he's so genuinely nice and so emotionally intelligent, and I think you have to have a lot of emotional intelligence to sometimes. I was going to put myself down and say deal with me, but Max doesn't make it feel like he deals with me. He just enjoys being with me as much as I enjoy being with him.
And she can also make bad situations better as well. So she always knows what to say. She always knows how to respond in exactly the way you need her to in any situation.
If there was a magic wand that came down and said, hey, we're going to make the day 25 hours instead of 24 hours, what are you going to do with that extra hour in your day? I would say, oh, I would like to spend that with Max.
Yeah, she just brightens up every situation. On every spectrum of situations, she's just always what you need.
Not that long ago, my answer to what I would have wanted for my future self would have been so different to what I now think. I think a few months ago, I honestly would have said, I want all the things that social media tells you that you should do, and I want to be the most adult-like adult. And I don't think that way anymore. I want to see more of the world. I want to feel a sense of freedom.
Yeah, I just hope that I'm happy with like a few basic things, which is like, I hope I feel healthy. I hope I feel accomplished, whatever that looks like. And I hope my life is varied enough in ways that help me feel fulfilled. I hope I'm utilising my life in a way that feels appropriate and not wasteful or short-sighted or neglectful of anything. Does that answer the question?
I honestly think if 18-year-old Taylor was sat right opposite me right now, I don't think we'd be able to have a conversation. I think I would say, you're doing really well, but you need to stop putting so much pressure on yourself, because, and that's something 24-year-old Taylor's still learning, but when you put so much pressure on yourself, you burn out and you perhaps pursue things or do things that you inherently, your personality and who you are, your makeup wouldn't naturally do. I think you're probably being very much a sheep and you want to learn to be the shepherd. I would say it takes a while to figure out who you are, but you're going to, and you're going to really like her. 18-year-old Taylor's got Peter Pan syndrome and never wants to lose her imagination and her naivety. And you don't lose your imagination, but you do lose some of that naivety, and it's not actually a bad thing. It wasn't actually something to be fearful of, because you understand reality a bit more now, and it grounds you and it helps you become a bit more sure of yourself.
Something that I would tell my 18-year-old self is have the confidence to do what you want to do, and don't automatically assume that everybody else is better than you. I was very driven, and I still feel like I am, but at the time that drive was often overshadowed by like a big case of imposter syndrome. So like I was always trying to get my foot in the door or meet new people in the areas that I wanted to be in, and trying to be in the right rooms with the right people. But if ever I was presented with an opportunity to do that, my knee-jerk reaction was always like fear and imposter syndrome, basically. So I would tell myself that nobody else has it figured out any more than you do. So even if you feel not qualified to be in any position, even just the fact that you're pondering that means that you are qualified, because you're there.
I always get a bit emotional when I think about me at 80. I would hope to be able to say you did absolutely everything you wanted to do, and you didn't let anything stop you, and you stayed true to who you are, and you saw a lot of things, and you did a lot of things, and you made a lot of people feel a lot of love, and you didn't let fear or anxiety stop you doing what you wanted to do.
This has always been a big thing for me. I have always been scared of getting old and feeling like I could have done more, or looking back and remembering lots of missed opportunities. I try not to let that put loads of pressure on me, because like we're all human and we all need to like chill, and it's not like I'm like a overly high functioning crazy workaholic or anything like that, because I'm not. But I do often try to make sure that when I am an old person and I have a whole life to look back on, that I can feel content in the opportunities that I took and the effort that I made. And this sounds really, really obvious, but I also would like to know that as best as I could, I was a good person to the people that I care about.
And the most important lesson I've learned is stop caring. Like, care about the important things and care about if your loved ones are happy, but if you made that mistake or whatever it may be, in the grand scheme of things, stop caring, because it doesn't matter. As long as you're a good person and you tried, that's honestly all you can do. So I would say stop caring and enjoy life while you have it.
Things really aren't as complicated as you think they are. Like, the foundational pillars to like a good, happy, healthy life are very simple. It's like, listen when you need to, act when you need to, don't overthink things. If the answer seems simple, then it's probably because it is simple, and like often the simplest answers are the best. Be decisive. Don't try and overcomplicate things, because 9 times out of 10 it doesn't need to be complicated. And like, that extends to all areas of life where people want to be prosperous in. The majority of what we all want out of life is just rooted in the basics.
A happy life has looked like many different things to me at many different times over my almost 25 years of living. But a happy life to me is feeling enriched by culture and getting out of your own little box that you put yourself in and seeing more of the world and being a good person to the people that you love, and small acts of kindness, making your partner that cup of tea, telling your colleague, oh, you smashed it today, calling your mum up to check in and see how she's doing, how her day was, going to McDonald's and getting your dad a Diet Coke from the drive-thru because you know he's had a long day at work. I understand now that it's the small things, and it's not having massive amount of money and having the most amazing career that ever existed and having the biggest house and having the tiniest waist and having the clearest skin. Although it's promoted everywhere that all those things matter, they don't. So yeah, finding happiness in the small things is what makes a happy life.
A happy life to me looks like waking up and knowing that the majority of things you're doing are stuff that you want to do. So like, I know that every morning I want to wake up with Taylor, and I do that. So that's like tick number 1. Having a career or a job that at least satisfies you in some way is a huge plus. And if you're lucky enough to have that, then I think that's at least a big contribution towards a happy life. Being healthy, not being insecure about anything, feeling the freedom to pursue anything you want to, and having people around you that you care about, having phone calls with my mum and going for walks with my brother. Like I say, keeping it simple, like having a life that's rooted in the basics and not being too complicated about stuff is Yeah, I consider that a happy life, really.
I wanted to make this video because I want this YouTube and this video to be kind of like a time capsule. I want to have perfectly stagnated in time what I was like at 24. And I see couples get older and they sometimes forget what first attracted to each other and the little moments and the little inside jokes. And being completely honest, I'm very fearful that one day that can be forgotten. And I wanted to talk about Max and I wanted to talk about my life right now. So I've almost got this constant live photo of who I was and what I thought and how I loved, and I'll be able to look back on it and I guess give 80-year-old Taylor a big cry to have something to look back on. And I just want to capture the essence of me and all the moments of Max and I that maybe one day I'll forget, which I hope this way I won't forget them, because I love him.
Yeah, I love you.
I love you.
Life is short, and before we know it, we will be 80, and we will be looking back on our lives and reflecting on everything. And your 20s is a very, very important time to encapsulate your outlook on the world. Everybody would choose to have a little time capsule to look back on themselves when they were in their 20s. Everyone's going to want to know what they thought and how they felt and what they looked like and what their vibe was when they were in their 20s. So this is just like, it's like a time capsule, like, you know, when you bury things in a school field and they dig it up like 50 years later. It's similar, same thing really. Just make ourselves a bit of a time capsule to look back on and have a conversation with ourselves.